Louisiana Beer Reviews 2022 Pumpkinator. This is from St. Arnold Brewing, and this Pumpkinator is aged in bourbon barrels with coffee. This is a new variant, I do believe, and I do not see it on their website. So I have a description below that I just got off the bottle. I didn't get it off the website. On tap saying it's 30 IBUs, but they're not listing IBUs here. They're saying 12.6% alcohol. And it is here's the description. Imperial pumpkin stout brewed with pumpkin spices, with pumpkin and spices, aged in bourbon barrels with coffee. Sorry. So, this is the first, not the first video, sorry, this is not the first video review for this in the world. I saw somebody, I'm not familiar with this person, but he did a review. Oh, nice smoke, so I'm going to check that out. And St. Arnold did a YouTube video about 1 minute long, just not describing the product, just talking about how they kind of redesigned the label to update it with their Pumpkinator. So wasn't helpful. I'll look down in their notes, see if they have a description of it. That could help though. A little thin beige head, but with these super high powerful ones you don't usually get much head. Dark brown, not quite black, dark brown, because I can see the brown around the edges. So very dark brown, strong aroma of bourbon barrel, and dark bread crust, like dark roasted barley malt. Pumpkin and spices, no, I don't get that. And I don't pick up coffee. They said the coffee company is called Java Pura. I'm not familiar with them. Must be in Houston. I'll have to look them up. If you don't like bourbon barrel, I don't really like bourbon barrel beers, honestly. I mean, I review enough of them. I like bourbon. Not my favorite kind of liquor, but I like it. And I like imperial stouts. I'm not in love with imperial stouts aged in bourbon barrels. It's just something about the bourbon whiskey flavor. It seems like it clashes with the beer. To me, other people say you're probably thinking you're crazy. That's the optimum way to have it. Personal preference, honestly. Spices, yes. Mild. Pumpkin. I mean, pumpkin is sort of a neutral flavor, so if you eat pumpkin pie, you basically taste in the spices and the crust and the sugar, because pumpkin itself is more or less a neutral squash. I mean, it has some flavor, but it's so minimal. Coffee. Yeah, there's a touch of it. If I was drinking this not knowing what was in it, I might be thinking that coffee note is just coming from the dark roasted malts. What malts do they use? I couldn't tell you. They don't list them. Hops, don't know. What kind of pumpkin? Don't know. Spices, can't say. I know it's Java Pure coffee. Don't know which one. So, no lacing. No head of foam. Not that unusual for these 12% and above imperial stouts, though. Is it up to the quality level of last year, which was 12.9, I do believe? Remember they had the bourbon barrel aged pumpkin with vanilla. Still they have the regular Pumpkinator, which I would strongly recommend. There's another variant I have with a different color label that I'm going to bring up later. So, score. Personal preference doesn't matter, okay? So me saying I don't like bourbon barrel flavor in a beer is irrelevant, all right? The quality level is super high here. I'm going to go 98 out of 100, 9.8 out of 10. Doesn't get 100 because it doesn't have the pretty foam, doesn't have the pretty lacing. and it might have a little chalkiness in the mouthfeel. Kind of a common thing with these. Sweetness, 4 out of 5 sugar cubes. Bitterness, 2.5 out of 5 hop cones. 2.5 out of 5 hop cones. Not a bitter beer. Sweet. Interesting. Expensive. $6.99 plus tax for one bottle. $6.99 plus tax for the other bottle. Now you can get the bomber of the Pumpkinator, which I think comes in at 10 or 11 depending on the year, and that's, you can find that for $7.99 for the bomber, 22 ounces. Not quite 2 full bottles, but anyway, that's, if you've never had any of their beers, pumpkin beers, I would start with that one. And I like to revisit it. Maybe I'll push myself to revisit it this year. It wouldn't take much pushing. So, Les Bon Temps Relais, a fabulous product from Houston, Texas, and I'm going to end this review by saying y'all go to Houston, Texas and tour the St. Arnold Brewery. I have.